Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Waste Talk series. As you all know, in this series, we talk about how to reduce waste, how to transform waste, and how to throw away waste when we actually throw it away. Today, with me, I have Deetya. Deetya is a university student, and Deetya loves thrifting. She has worked at a thrift store, and she has got some experience working there. So today, she will be sharing her experience with us. Welcome, Deetya. Welcome to my channel. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for asking. I'm doing great. Yeah, so I know that you love thrifting. Let me start with the very first question. When and how did you get into thrifting, and why do you love thrifting?
So for me, like I've always loved fashion and obviously buying clothes. I feel like every teenage girl loves buying clothes. But I remember after quarantine, it kind of became a trend to like go to thrift stores and buy things. So that's how it started. And then honestly, like eventually I just thought like it saved a lot of money as well to just go and find different clothes. And I would go with my friends a lot, so it just became a habit to go thrifting.
Yeah, that's for you save money when you thrift. Yeah, so yeah, girls this age, they go to Zara and other branded stores. Do you find something specific, good quality clothes there? Like why you are really into it?
I mean, in thrift stores you can find a lot of different brands. Like I've definitely seen Zara and Guess and like those high-end brands as well. I think with thrifting, like the thing that attracts me the most to it is just you can find so many different like a variety of pieces in such a small place. Like when you go to Zara or like Guess or these other stores, like it's very concentrated on the style that they're putting out. But obviously like not everything is gonna match my aesthetic or what I want. So when I go to the thrift stores, like I can find a bunch of different styles. I can find like a bunch of different sizes. And sometimes I don't want like just clothes. I want books or jewelry. So you can find like everything in the thrift store.
Right. So I get the message. So at thrift store, you get 10 good brands at the same place. While when you go to other stores, you are going store to store, and maybe it is saving your time as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask. Uh, Thrift store has variety of stuff, cheap, good, different qualities, and finding stuff at thrift store is a skill. How do you really find good quality stuff? How do you know that this is worth the price it has?
Honestly, I think the more you go, the more you start understanding like what is worth your money, I guess, or what's worth paying for. I feel like because for me, I've been going since I was probably like 14, and now I'm like almost 19, so it's been so long. So I've already gone through the phase of where I would spend like $100 on things that I literally would never wear again. But you just have to like think about, when I would wear this or why I would want to wear it or what I will like what will match with it that's already in my closet. So you have to think about it in that way and not just think about, oh, like I like how this looks. I just want it because it's like I just want it because I can have, you know.
Can you tell me a specific look that you have created with the stuff from the thrift store?
So like a specific look I've made from the thrift store.
Yeah, because maybe you can buy bottom separately, top separately, and those kind of things. So yeah.
So for me, I remember like there was this one top I thrifted. It was like a white long sleeve like linen top. It was really nice and it had like buttons in the back. And then I was able to also thrift these like True Religion jeans. And like True Religion is like a more high-end brand. And I remember like I ended up wearing that to school because I had a presentation. So like I was able to thrift that whole outfit in one trip actually. And it was actually really like a really nice outfit. It looked really expensive too.
And you got a lot of compliments on that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. Okay, so other than clothes, do you also buy shoes from there? And shoes, I mean, some people can think might not be good because shoes have been worn by someone else. What are your thoughts on that?
So I used to not like buy shoes ever because I just wasn't interested in shoes. But recently I got really interested in wearing heels. So every time I go to the thrift store, like I'll look for a pair of heels and I've thrifted probably like five really nice pairs. Because they're like not too bad. Sometimes there are like more on the pricey side because the thing with their stores, they can't put out every pair of heels, right? Like there's only so much space they have for shoes because they usually give more of their space to clothes and even furniture. So like I do always look for shoes. I think you can find really nice heels, even sneakers. Like I know especially for like the men's section, sometimes they'll have very like expensive sneakers that obviously the thrift store's not gonna know the brands or anything, right? So they'll put up a sneaker for maybe like $20 and they can resell it for like $200. So it's always worth looking.
Yeah, I mean, they do have good quality things and you have to look for it. Yeah. So let's get to your experience working at a thrift store. So you briefly worked at a thrift store. So what was your experience? What kind of stuff do you get? How much do you get? And how was you were working in the back end or front end?
I was working in the back, so I was the one like pricing the clothes, picking what clothes will go out on the floor. Like that was my
Okay.
And yeah, so just like an average day of working, because I worked at Goodwill, so an average day of working at Goodwill, you would come in, you would get assigned to your station, and you basically have to just you pick like your own bin of clothes, like random clothes that people donate, you bring that to your station and you're just sorting it out. So how we did it basically, we had a bin of good clothes that we were gonna price that day, and then a bin of clothes that were they weren't bad, like they just weren't up to our standards to sell. So then those clothes would be sent to the impact center where then they would be sold for I think 1 pound is like $1.25, so very cheap.
Mhm.
And then we also had a bin for like landfill and garbage. So like yeah, so my job would just be to like sort through the clothes and obviously like for me, because I only worked there for like 3 months, so sometimes like it's hard to decide what can be sold because it's very subjective. Like something I think would get sold from more of like a youth perspective of like, oh, I think these brands are more popular amongst younger groups. Like obviously maybe my manager would be like, no, I don't think that should go out on the floor. So at the end of the day, it would go in the bin. But yeah, like it was just like you had to pick nice, good quality clothing, and we would just price that and put it out.
So you mentioned three bills, something for reselling and something for impact center, and the third bin is for the landfill.
Yeah,
So you also get some sort of stuff that cannot be used in any way and that has to go to landfill.
yeah.
Okay. Do you get a lot of stuff or like you're always looking for more? How much volume do you get as donations?
We always have like a surplus of clothing, so not only do we get clothes just from people who drop it off, but because where I worked in the South Park location, so that's the location near Calgary Trail. So that was like the biggest Goodwill, I'm pretty sure, in the city. So people like the Goodwill from Riverbend and from Meadows, they would actually come and drop by their clothes as well to our location. So we would always have like a lot of clothes to go through. And on top of that, we had boxes full of unprocessed clothes as well. I don't even think like when I was working there we ever got to it, but if we ever did run out of clothes, we even had those clothes to work with.
What do you mean by unprocessed?
Unprocessed is basically just clothes that haven't been sorted out, and it hasn't been decided if it's going to be sold or if it's going to be thrown in the impact center.
So you sort them there
Yeah.
at your location. Yeah. Okay, so let me ask you this question. Some people think that they are actually helping the planet or helping everyone by donating more. So they buy more and donate more. What would you say about it? Is it too much volume when people are buying a lot and they just get an excuse that because it can be donated and someone else will be benefited from it, so I'm doing something good. Is it right thought process?
I mean, I feel like the thing with fashion is people are always going to be interested in it. So I think my standpoint on it, like especially someone who's like more passionate about fashion, I can understand why someone would want to buy more clothes or why they would have that mindset. So I think as long as, they're not just donating, whatever, basically, as long as they're still donating like nice quality pieces, it's still going through that cycle. Someone is bound to buy it. So if you're someone who, gets bored easily of their style, I do think like donating is a good way to be doing that more sustainably, to be able to like, yeah, you are buying a lot of clothes, but at least you're still giving away your clothes. You're not just throwing them away as soon as you're done with them. But obviously, like at the end of the day, we have to be mindful of what we're buying as well. Like you shouldn't just be buying, I mean, at the end of the day, it's your choice, but you should be mindful of why you're buying something. And yeah, but I do think like donating clothes is a good way to keep track of how much you're buying and to be doing it more ethically. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, instead of throwing in trash, if you are donating, you are doing something good, and that's a great
Yeah.
thing. But don't make it a excuse that you can buy more, because at the end it goes to other countries that I have heard,
Yeah. So
and then it is too much.
like I remember they didn't really talk about this in the store, but during our orientation, a lot of like sometimes people donate shoes where they might that we have one shoe but we don't have the other shoe. So what we'll do is we'll take all those shoes and we'll actually donate them to more developing countries so that they could wear those shoes still. Because obviously, like when you need shoes, you need shoes. You're not really focused on the style.
Mhm.
So yeah, that was one thing that we did with shoes especially.
Yeah. And also those cheap quality clothes like from Shein or Timu, are they worth putting on the shelf for selling or?
The thing is with Shein and Temu, I feel like it's such a well-known brand that no one who's going, like most people who go to thrift store, like they're not looking for those brands. Like when you go thrifting, especially when you see the pe most people who are thrifting, like they're like resellers or just the average person, they're not thrifting those kind of cheaper brands. They're gonna look for brands that are higher quality because they know those are the pieces that are worth buying actually, right? Especially with like Goodwill, for example, our pricing is all standardized. So every shirt is gonna be about $10, right? Unless it's on the list of being doubled or tripled. So it doesn't make sense to, pay $10 for a Shein t-shirt, but then also pay $10 for like a nice Guess t-shirt or whatever, like a branded t-shirt. So no, most people don't buy it anymore.
Yeah, so do not buy a lot of cheap stuff
Yeah,
from Shein and Temu and just keep donating.
yeah,
Once in a while, if you want to buy something for a trend or something, it's okay, but don't make
yeah,
it a practice to buy on regular basis from these stores, right? That
yeah.
is,
Like don't buy it like thinking that oh that there's like someone will buy it because chances are no one's gonna buy it. I mean maybe people will buy it at the impact center because it's cheaper, but yeah, most people don't buy that.
okay, so let's talk about the environmental impact of thrifting. How do you think it helps? Thrifting helps the planet in any way?
So the biggest thing, and we actually are taught this at our orientation as well, is like we do allow, or we help a lot of clothes from not being in landfills. I think it's like 60% or something ends up not going in landfill because of our thrift stores, like Goodwill specifically. So like that's probably the biggest thing is obviously instead of throwing these clothes in landfills, we're able to resell them and make more profit. And the thing with Goodwill as well is like when they sell their clothes, a lot of their money actually goes into other nonprofits as well. So that's probably the biggest thing. And also, I feel like with thrifting, like when you give people a chance to buy more clothes that are like secondhand, they start like looking less in areas like in first-hand stores, like the I need to go this. Like I know for me especially, like when I want something new, like for example, I really wanted like a new jacket. I actually went to Valley Village first because I really had like a feeling I would find like a nice jacket, and I did. I found like very nice, like thick winter jacket, and I wear all the time. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So when you are going to a thrift store, you are not going to buy a new jacket, and that way you are saving a new item, a piece
yeah,
of item from coming out to the floor, right? So that way you are saving the amount going to landfill, we can say,
yeah.
right? Yeah. And so, how about your friends? Are they also into thrifting, or you talk to them about this thing, or there is still a stigma? Okay, I cannot share this with them.
I think for me, like my best friend, especially like me and her have bonded a lot over thrifting because we both really enjoy thrifting. I think she's actually even like a bigger thrifter than I am, right? So we either will go together a lot or, we'll talk about pieces that we found. So no, I don't think there's a stigma around it at all. I do think, however, like the thing with thrifting is you either enjoy it or you don't. Like I know some of my friends, for them it's like a lot more difficult to find good pieces. Like they always think like every time I go I don't find anything. So I feel like you have to have a very specific eye and you have to go in with a mindset of like you can't be specifically looking for one thing. Like you have to like know that you can find anything, in any area. So yeah, I think most people they either like it or they don't.
Okay. So anyone in your friend circle or anyone, if he's not into buying from thrift store, how would you inspire them? What would you tell them that they should go to thrift store and buy from there? There is nothing wrong in it.
I mean, like I think their biggest inspiration, especially in my friend group, is obviously like seeing, oh, like you've thrifted this piece, like maybe I have a chance to find something like this as well. So they know that, there is opportunity in finding good pieces. As far as inspiration, I feel like it kind of depends on what they're finding. Like I know my friend, she was asking us if we know where we can find this kind of like bangle. And I was telling her, like I always tell her the first place you should probably look is like a thrift store, like an antique store, not because it's cheaper, but because that is very like common in those stores. So, to inspire them, like I always bring it up. I always say like you should probably check the thrift store first, but obviously at the end of the day it's their choice, where they want to find it. So, yeah.
I mean, it's okay to go there and
Yeah, like it's not a big deal.
mhm. Yeah. Okay, so we talked about why you thrift, your working experience at thrift store as well, environmental impact. Anything else you want to share specific to this?
Honestly, I think everyone should give thrifting a chance. Like I don't just say that, because I work there. I think the best thing with thrifting is there really is something for everyone there. Like there's so many different styles and I think it becomes kind of like a challenge as well, like how much like money you can save and how many pieces you can find. So I think like if you have that stigma that I'm not going to find anything at the thrift store or it's like a waste of time, like you really have to give it a second chance and look at it through a different lens. And I also feel like sometimes people think that the clothes at their stores is so dirty, and like I'm not gonna lie, like being in the back, like obviously it's not like the most clean, but we have washing machines, like we have like all that stuff. You can always wash it. And especially with stores like Goodwill, like we don't just put out anything on the floor as well. So most of the pieces that we put out, like they're gonna be relatively clean compared to what we're seeing in the back.
And even when you go to a new store, there are a lot of pieces, a lot of clothes, and everyone is touching there, like with their
Yeah,
hands or whatever. And you don't wear those clothes just as like that. You bring it and you wash it, and then you wear it. So same way you can do with the thrifted item as well, right?
yeah.
You can sanitize your shoes or wash your clothes, so whatever way you can clean it, right? Yeah, so thank you for sharing the experience. And everyone, thrifting is no more a cheap thing, it's a creative and resourceful. I hope you take away something from this talk, and we will come back with another topic. Thank you. Thanks, Deetya.